What is good, YouTube? As you can see, I'm still in some of my business clothes a little bit. I too lazy to change completely, but took off my tie, and I basically just wanted to add a little bit more to my discussion on the death of the sneaker fad, and a couple points that I don't really want to get misconstrued in that first video, so I kind of want to elaborate a little bit more on this part two. So, initially I said I thought the questions represented the death of the sneaker, basically the culmination of the sneaker fad fading out. And I didn't really go into too much depth on that, but the reason I say that is because, in my personal opinion, like I said, the pack was one of the best packs that's ever come out. And I thought that pack would sell out within 5 minutes. But what actually ended up happening was the shoes have been selling under retail on eBay ever since they were released online. It took almost probably 2 days for those things to sell out online, but they did eventually sell out. And I think there were only 5,000 of them made, is what I heard. But then, literally, probably within that entire week, I saw packs consistently. You can go to completed listings on eBay now and see for yourself. But packs consistently going for 250, 260, like this is significantly under retail. And then, like I said, you had the whole Laney thing, and basically this is happening more and more with sneakers. And it just it's kind of the Concord, it's the opposite end of the Concords, in my opinion. I think they are at opposite spectrums of one another, and I think this is symbolizing the decline in the whole sneaker fad thing. And then additionally, when I said Nike was kind of collapsing, when I said all great empires collapse, and I was kind of focusing in on Nike, but what I should have been focusing on was the sneaker fad and the sneaker trend as a whole. And I think that basketball and athletic sneakers as a whole are an empire that is going to collapse. And Nike's always going to be around for running, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. But I think that from a standpoint of a fad and everybody collecting them because they're rare, etc., every company just got way too greedy. It wasn't just Nike. Reebok tried to get in on it. Fila tried to get in on it. And you can't blame these other companies. Like, Fila was basically... Fila was a dying shoe company. But they latched onto this just like every other company latched onto this. You had Mutombo's retroing. Patrick Ewing was able to come out with his own line again. His own sneaker line he came out with. They weren't the Patrick Ewing Adidas. They weren't the Patrick Ewing whatever other brands he was with. They were the Patrick Ewings. He literally started his own company because of this fad. But yeah, so that's kind of what I meant was I think that whole empire will collapse at some point in the near future. And then another thing that I kind of wanted to add was I did get kind of swept up in the fad a little bit. In the first video, I said that I didn't really get swept up in it at all, but there was a year and a time period where I probably bought 5 to 6 times more shoes than I normally would have, and that was probably 2011. Yeah, 2011. Well, No. Not 2011. 2012, the year that the Black Cement threes came out and the Bread 11s. No, Black Cement threes were 2011, but yeah, when the Bread fours came out, the Bread 11s. Yeah, I got probably 12, 13 pairs of shoes that year, if not more. I got at least a pair a month. And that was kind of because of the whole YouTube. I was doing YouTube videos. Um, Sneakers were really popular, and because I had always liked sneakers so much, and because I had always bought them, it was like my eyes were just in my I was it was almost like a brain explosion, like, oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on this, can't wait to get my hands on this, because it was just like my childhood flashing before my eyes with all these retros, retro after retro, and it became too much, which is why I want to talk about one last thing, and then I'll end this part two, and that is that companies are running out of ideas. I literally wrote down all the Black Friday and Christmas releases of the last 5 years, and every year until now was phenomenal. I highly anticipated every single Black Friday and Christmas release from 2009 forward. Um, with the exception of the Flu Game 12s, because I've never been a fan of the 12s. I think that's an ugly shoe. But in 2009, Black Friday was the Flu Game 12s, and then that Christmas was the Space Jam 11s. And I got the Space Jams. That was like, to me, that was kind of like, oh man, they're really doing this. And then next year was the Flint 13s and the Cool Gray 11s. And that was the first time I waited early for shoes. And I was really getting back into things. I was like, oh man, they're doing it right. And then 2011, like, I remember 2 to 3 months in advance. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I remember 2 to 3 months in advance, I was having dreams. I was literally having dreams about getting the Black Cement 3s and the Concord 11s. I would go to bed visualizing. And this was when I'm in law school, like right around finals time. So I'm not even really, like, it's like, to me, that was like the light at the end of the tunnel. I would be able to camp out for these amazing holiday releases. And then even last year, Bread 4s and and Bread 11s. And that's 4 years in a row of phenomenal releases, highly anticipated releases every single year. What does Jordan Brand have us for this holiday season? Black Friday, we have the Jordan 5 Oreos, craptastic, and the Jordan Gamma, whatever the hell they are, 11s, another crap fest. The Jordan Gamma 11s are one of the most disappointing 11s I've ever seen. And if they would have done the midsole white, I think they would have been significantly better, and I probably would have been a little bit more excited about them. But as it stands right now, I'm getting neither, especially those Oreo 5s. They're just straight garbage in my opinion. But the Gamma Blue 11s I do not like. And it kind of brought me to my whole point of they're running out of ideas. And if it was me, and I was at Jordan or Nike Brand, what would I do for the holiday releases? Well, I was thinking for Black Friday, as opposed to the Oreo 5s, what would I like and what would I have anticipated? Black metallic 5s or something like the bin 5s. We haven't had any retros of the bins. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing those retro. And then for the 11 Christmas release, what would I have liked to seen? Well, I know everybody out there likes the Columbias. I'm not a huge fan of those, but uh, that would have been better than the Gamma Blue 11s. And in my opinion, I think they should have done one of the Ray Allen PEs. Uh, Either the Heat or the Celtics. The Celtics, especially, I love that colorway. I think it would have been pandemonium. Um, but yeah, I really think that if they would have done a Black Metallic 5, Bin 5, or a Ray Allen PE, I would have had the same level of anticipation and excitement that I've had the past 4 years. And that's just kind of my take. No, this is kind of a long rant and discussion on this topic, but I really wanted to uh, make sure my first part was a little bit more clear and I laid out this discussion a little bit more thoroughly, even though it's still kind of all over the place. Like always, interested in hearing your opinion. Any responses, that'd be great. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.